Going on, people? What's going on, people? Welcome to the Hidden Mighty Show. Let's turn up today, baby. Oh, shout out to my ladies out there. Shout out to my queens. We got a powerful topic today. We talking about the power of language and the certain phrases that we use that we must commit to.
Making love is what I wanna do, but I need a true friend to make it come together.
Right. All right, people, let's get right into it. Y'all. Now, let's look at this, right? The power of language, right? Now, we use a lot of words that have power in it. And, they say words can manifest things and things of that nature. That's all fine. But there's a particular phrase that we use that's an important phrase that I think we need to stand by and commit to. It's just my opinion. It's just my critique. Let me know if you're following me, right? We often use rest in peace, right? We often use rest in peace a whole lot. You see it on social medias, rest in peace, sleep in peace, be in peace, rest in power, right? But a lot of times in life, we contradict ourselves. And I'm here to tell you why we contradict ourselves when we use these powerful words on these people that we give 100% emotional investment in and we love so dearly, and it can cause traumatic effects. And those traumatic effects need to be actually healed, and they need to be conditioned, and they need to be nurtured. And we look through that through the fruitful knowledge of God, right? Fruitful knowledge of our Bible, our religion, our prayers. We look for that in a lot of ways. Some of us look for it in chemical balances, you know what I'm saying? But we're not going to get into that. But we are going to get into using the word rest in peace and committing to it and using it in the context that it's used and living by those very laws. That's very simple, right? Now, let's start off with this, right? Often we associate ourselves with phrases all the time. We got Ford truck, Ford built tough. Therefore, we say, yeah, Ford, I can buy a Ford. Ford built tough. I'm built tough. People are built tough. They grow up in the hood, right? Rough environments, tough environments. You become a product of that hood, right? You become very conducive to the adversities and the poverty out there, but it makes you stronger. It builds your character, right? You go out there, you get street smarts, right? And you gain build, right? And then you become more, ambitious in a sense. Some of us are not as successful, but we all are built tough. So therefore, we associate ourselves with strong phrases, right? Now, when we use words like rest in peace, I believe that is something that we should live by. Because if we're going to wish somebody off, then they damn sure want to believe what we're wishing onto them. They're off. If you were saying, all right, bon voyage, have a safe flight, have a good trip, make sure you strap in, we'll miss you, can't wait till you get back, and if anything happens, we love you. I be wanting to strongly believe you before I'm on that plane getting sent the fuck off. Like, I would be emotionally invested in what you're saying. I would hope that you're talking the truth. I would hope that you commit to those words. And I would hope that those words are strong enough to keep me, let's say, feeling loved. So why not rest in peace? You know what I'm saying? Why not rest in peace be those words that sends me off comfortably, and I'm not having to look back because I know you're going to handle your business? Because we all know that when I'm off, out of sight, out of mind. No difference than dreaming, unless you're lucid dreaming. I got a journey. I got a mission here to go. So it's very important that we commit to the very words that we're sending off our loved ones who are passed on, because we love them so dearly, and we have to commit and look at the words in context and really thinking to ourselves, like, we don't want to contradict ourselves and be these polarity thinkers where we contradict the phrases or the words that we use when we're sending off our loved ones who've passed on. It makes perfect sense. And some of the things in definition of rest in peace have synonymous meanings. Now we're going to get into my last show where we basically went into a self-evaluation through writing, art, painting, playing an instrument. Some might do gymnastics or whatever. And we do these things, and through the stages, we notice that we thrive off the very attributes that we have in order to make us stronger. We might break a leg in being a gymnast. We might go through a paranoid situation or fearful, traumatic situation, and we write our music. And when we look back at it, we say, yeah, I was going through that shit at that time. And we realize that we were going through stages of paranoia, fear, temptation, and things like that. And we learned from it, right? And when we look back at it, it helps us be better and helps us grow. So these things are very significant and synonymous onto the afterlife. One moves on to the afterlife. One moves on with unresolved matters rather than issues. And one has to go through different journeys and dimensions in order to, let's say, untie some loose ends here, So we go through that living so we can move on in peace. Therefore, we can rest in peace. And this gets to my topic where I say why we say rest in peace in the first place to the person who's passed on. One of the reasons we might say rest in peace is because we don't want anybody's critique or judgment or opinions to shade or shape our judgment or affect our judgment or motivate us to judge someone who has passed on. Like the media meddles with, our opinions on people that passed on that we love, celebrities like Nipsey Hussle, Chinks, or Stacks. Rest in peace to them. Much love to them. People meddle with our emotions, with important people like Pac, giving us this news footage and stuff like that. And they don't necessarily respect the dead. They kind of just want to make it a newsreel and try to spark this emotional response out of people. And instead of us being proactive, we become reactive using the framework that they see it through. Because we so caught up in media, and this is how the media either gets their ratings or readers or subscribers and stuff like that. And that's just totally disrespectful. So let's just be real here. We don't care about why the person's died. We care about what we're doing, what we're aware of, what we're doing, because they've passed on. Trust me, they're in a way better position than we are. We are at a disposition, or we're just in another position. So we want to be more aware of what we're wishing upon them as they pass on, and we don't want to contradict ourselves, meddling with people's opinions and their judgments and getting caught up in the media and then reading dumbass tabloids. And you got the radio, no disrespect to them, but sometimes they get caught up in that, and that helps us get emotional responses. We become reactive rather than proactive. And we all know that politics, they like to get emotional responses using race, but the hip hop culture, they'll get emotional responses using death. And we want our fellows to rest in peace. So when we say rest in peace, we want them to sleep well. Even though they're not sleeping, they're actually in their consciousness, right? Or in their subconsciousness, until they birth back into their consciousness, manifesting it through, light and, right? So we want them to rest in peace. We don't want them to be tormented. So when we don't want them to be tormented, we got to think onto ourselves, like, if we wishing that the spirit is not tormented mentally, then just imagine what the living how the living is tormented, and how much we can, recondition ourselves before we wish it upon the passed on people. You can't wish something on them that we're not doing for ourselves. You're just contradicting ourselves, putting us in a polarity kind of thinking. We look like hypocrites in a sense. So that wouldn't make no sense. I mean, if you wish me off on a trip, I would hope that you're emotionally invested in what you're saying. Therefore, I am comfortable and I believe that you'll be safe as well as I be safe. Because I'm off in an unknown world. I got shit to do. No, I can't be worrying about you and me. We also want them to rest in peace, as far as we want them to actually rest in areas that's, conducive to their liking, their teachings, their belief systems, on proper landlines, proper cemeteries. So we bury them in proper burial grounds where we feel like, they're around our families. We can build them in, we can put them in better cemeteries than our family. If we can't afford it, I understand that. But if we can, we put them on better landlines, better areas, better locations, so they're around at least a family member who's been in that graveyard. That way, when they're walking around as souls, because they're probably going to walk around for a little bit, they'll see other family members of ours, and thus forth helping them to put their concern or anxieties or whatever spiritual things they go through in a resting state, which is more like not even like sleep, but more like a nice, calm, systolic kind of state. So if you think about that, we got to make sure that we're doing that. And we also got to make sure our beliefs are strong, because if we believe in the Father, then we believe the Father will take care of them, thus forth helping them to be rested in their conscience, that we're not as fearful or worried, or we won't go through any traumatic experiences, because we have a strong belief in our Father, and our Father will take care of us. He'll condition our soul as long as we stand by either his good book, or we doing our prayers, or we just living by one another in a peaceful light. Another thing is that we wish them a rest in peace, so that way they are not shaded as a light being. Because if you think about it, there are what they say, dark entities, and there are light beings. So in no way do we want this light being to catch any shade. We don't want any dim, bitter things around them. So we make sure that they are in a rest in peace state by wishing them a rest in peace with our belief, with our living, reflecting that belief. Our living, reflecting our statement, strongly supporting it. So we are strong believers. But instead, I don't mean to judge, but some of us are saying things that are just not that believable. And then we wonder why we feel how we feel. Because it's not so much that you feel for the spirit moved on, but the spirit feels for you. And sometimes, you can cause something that can get a reaction in order for you to fix something in your life. Cause and effect, rather. You know what I'm saying? You caused the problem. So now the effect of it helping you is going to come right back to you. So if you mourning right now, you feeling a certain type of way for somebody who's passed on, in fact, it's also revolving onto back to you, because you are the one who should be at worry the most, because this entity is free in a state. If I'm dreaming, if I'm in a dream state, I'm in a more of a multi-dimensional, free kind of flow. Like it's different. So I'm more worried about the person who is sitting there in the prisoner body, in the pain body. So it's important that when you wish somebody off, that you are in a good place as well. So this person can flow and fly peacefully and lead you or come back to your life and with confidence and glory and walk in this light. So, we just got to be careful of these things that we say. So, rest in peace is a powerful statement. I just want us to live by it and be peaceful. So, peace out, y'all.